Laudetur Jesus Christus.
Welcome to Vatican Radio's English service for South Asia. Our morning broadcast begins at 1:38 a.m. UTC on the 31 and 41 meter bands.
This is repeated at 3 a.m. UTC on the 19-meter band. The evening broadcast begins at 3:28 p.m. UTC on the 19 and 41-meter bands, and also in the digital DRM system on the 19-meter band. Hello and welcome to The Backgrounder, a weekly feature on the life of the Catholic Church around the world. In today's edition, we bring you the first of a two-part interview with Indian Jesuit priest Father Cedric Prakash, who was recently honored with the Mother Teresa International Award for Social Justice. We shall conclude with the news. Stay tuned. On October the 27th, Harmony Foundation, based in Mumbai, India, conferred its Mother Teresa Awards for Social Justice on 8 individuals and an organization for their work towards social justice and peace in the world. The award is named after Blessed Mother Teresa of Kolkata, formerly Calcutta, the 1979 Nobel Peace Laureate, recognized worldwide for her works of mercy and love for the downtrodden and rejected of society. One of the 9 winners of this year's Mother Teresa Awards for Social Justice is Jesuit Father Cedric Prakash, whom the Harmony Foundation described as an outstanding human rights activist deeply committed to the defense and the promotion of human rights nationwide, someone whose work in the promotion of communal harmony is equally outstanding. Father Cedric is the director of Prashant, a center for human rights, justice and peace he started in 2001 in Ahmedabad, Gujarat state. The Jesuit priest has always been at the forefront on issues affecting the marginalized minorities and other vulnerable sections of society in Gujarat and also nationwide, often risking his own safety by boldly confronting those who propagate hate and promote communalism. No wonder then that Father Cedric has earlier been awarded with several other prizes and awards, such as the French government's Knight of the Legion of Honor, the Rafi Ahmed Kidwai Award by the Indian Muslim Council USA, the Minorities' Rights Award, and the Outstanding Achievement Award by the City of Harvey, Illinois, United States. We called Father Cedric Prakash on his mobile phone in Ahmedabad to know about his feelings. Today, in the first of a two-part interview, we first asked him whether the Mother Teresa Award for Social Justice that he received means anything special to him.
First of all, I must confess, and very honestly and very humbly, that any award is in many ways very embarrassing because one truly feels really small and undeserving of any award, because if you're looking at the work, the amount that remains to be done, what we are doing actually, or what I'm doing, is rather insignificant. But however, we do accept these awards because it comes as a recognition that there are people who are suffering, who are marginalized, who look towards, a system, an environment, a state, a country in which human rights for all prevail and justice and peace are there for all. It also becomes a kind of a motivation for our work, definitely for me, but also for my colleagues and for others associated with me. Now, receiving this Mother Teresa Award for Social Justice is, it's not a feather in my cap, but for me it does mean a lot. Mother Teresa has always been very special in my life, and receiving an award in her name is something added special.
How long has your association with Mother Teresa been? Have you ever met her in your life?
Yes, I have met Mother Teresa several times. I first met Mother Teresa in, I think, way back in 1972, when I first went to Calcutta and spent some time there. And then later on, when the Sikhs were massacred in Delhi in 1984, she asked me, she appointed me to look after a big rehabilitation program at the Ludlow Castle camp, in which many Sikhs who were victims had taken refuge. Then, of course, I was instrumental in bringing her to Ahmedabad some years ago, where we began a new home for the dying destitute. I've met her a few times right at my table. I have a picture of me and Mother Teresa with my own mother. Today, 3 years ago, my mother was buried. So these are two very important women in my life. So Mother Teresa has been a source of great inspiration, of great strength to me. And for me, I believe she's truly a saint today.
Now, perhaps, Father, on October the 27th, when you were honored with this award, perhaps you had to make some acceptance speech. Would you share some of the thoughts that you shared with the gathering there?
Yes, I did have to make an acceptance speech. I had some thoughts prepared, but basically I said three things. I said that this comes as a recognition, not merely for my work, but the fact that there are many people who are suffering, many people who are marginalized, who live on the fringes of society. So I accept this award in their name. Secondly, I dedicated this award. And I dedicated this award to the missionaries of charity, to the sisters I meet. I say Mass for them almost every day here in Ahmedabad. And many of them who silently work all the time, caring for the despised, the unloved, the dying destitute, the orphans, the widows, the leprosy patients. They are doing remarkable work, which many people, ordinary people would not have the guts to do. So I dedicated this award to them. And the third thing I said that this is definitely comes as a motivation to me to do much more, for the downtrodden, for the marginalized, so that social justice might be, reality for every single human being, not merely in Ahmedabad or Gujarat or India, but all over the world.
Now, along with you, there were 8 others, an organization who also received the prize.
Right.
More or less, Father, seeing the work they were doing, do you think that they all reflected in some way or other the ideals, the truths, and the vision of Mother Teresa?
Yes, definitely. I think all the outstanding people, all the others, there are people from all walks of life, people who work with orphans, people who work with marginalized groups, somebody who is just recognizing certain problems that women had. So different things. But, many of them were really unsung heroes, but who were truly deserving of this award. And very especially, many of them were doing the work that Mother Teresa was doing all her life. So in that sense, they were in their own significant ways carrying on the rich legacy which she has left to all.
Now, Father, since you started this center, Prashant, the Center for Human Rights, Justice and Peace, in 2001, it hasn't been a very easy ride for you. You had to pay a price, sometimes violence, sometimes even blood, I guess. But you're still there. What makes you still be there at the forefront?
I personally think if I'm a disciple of Jesus, not merely me, but I think all of us have to face situations. And, whatever the cost, whatever the price, we have to learn to give and not count the cost. I think I still have a long way to go in making, that vision, that ideal, a complete reality in my life. But what I think is important is, at this moment, is that we have been trying to do, I think, in our own small ways, something which definitely responds to the cries of the people with whom we are associated. We have here in Gujarat the land of Mahatma Gandhi, who believed in truth, in non-violence, in ahimsa. And Mahatma Gandhi gave the world this message. He paid literally for it with his own life. I mean, for me, I really don't indulge in heroics and so on, but there has been definitely that risk factor. We are fighting against the system. We are fighting against people who have presided over the killing of the citizens of the state, of this country. And it's not easy when one is looking at, dimensions of when people say, let's forgive and forget. But the point is, we also believe that the cause of justice needs to be served. We are working with victim survivors of the Gujarat carnage of 2002, and many of them are still struggling for an identity, struggling for compensation, for rehabilitation, to be treated as equal citizens of this country, which is guaranteed in our Constitution. And the thing is, people have had nothing to do with any kind of illegal activity or any kind of terrorist activity or any kind of bloodshed. So I'm asking, why should this lady, who is mainly perhaps 75, 80 years old, should be suffering all her life? When will she be accepted as a member of our society, integrated? Why should maybe this young widow who saw her husband butchered in front of her alive, have to struggle so much to bring up her little children? Why is our system so lethargic, so unjust, that favors powerful vested interests? Okay. Why can't justice actually be and come to the doorstep of, the poor, the marginalized, the victim? And I think this is what Jesus would have been looking for, and this is what Jesus did all his life. Took a stand for the poor, the marginalized, the unloved, the victims of our very, very inhuman society.